The story around Shakur Stevenson has always been built on precision, control, and the idea that he is untouchable when he is locked in. But that image cracked the moment footage and reports surfaced of him being caught and dropped in sparring by Keyshawn Davis. It wasn't a sanctioned fight, it wasn't under the lights, but in boxing, moments like that never stay private. They leak into the public, and once they do, they become fuel. Fighters talk. Legends talk. Rivals talk. And suddenly, what was supposed to be just another hard day in the gym became a moment everyone had an opinion on. Floyd Mayweather and Gervonta Davis didn't waste time reacting. They looked at the footage and didn't talk about friendship or excuses. They talked about openings, reactions, defense, and standards. At that level, there are things you simply cannot afford to give away. They pointed out moments where Shakur's hands were low, where his reactions were slower than expected, where shots slipped through that should never get through on a fighter of his reputation. Floyd didn't just criticize. He demonstrated. He showed what a real jab looks like, how the feet and hands align, how pivots create safety, how combinations flow without leaving holes. To him, boxing is about details, and details are where fights are won or lost. Shakur, for his part, didn't sound broken. He sounded calm. He said he felt fine, that he didn't get hit that day, that sparring partners were frustrated because they couldn't touch him. To him, one bad moment doesn't erase years of dominance. But the noise around him didn't die. Because in boxing, perception matters almost as much as reality. Once people think they've seen a crack, they start aiming for it. Keyshawn Davis's role in all this is complicated. He isn't some outsider. He and Shakur came up together. They trained together. They shared gyms, dreams, and grind. Keyshawn has always said Shakur helped carry him through his amateur career, helped open doors, helped expose him to elite environments. Through Shakur, he met top figures in boxing, trained around champions, and learned what high-level boxing really looked like. Their bond is real, and that's why Keyshawn has always said he will never fight Shakur professionally, no matter how much fans want it. But friendship doesn't stop competition inside the gym. Sparring is where truth comes out. It's where styles clash without cameras, without judges, without belts. And in one of those sessions, Keyshawn caught Shakur clean. Whether it was a mistake, a bad moment, or just part of learning, it still happened. And that moment didn't just show something about Shakur. It showed something about Keyshawn too. His growth, his timing, his confidence, his ability to capitalize when an opening appears. He isn't just a prospect anymore. He is a real threat in his own division. As all this was happening, Gervonta Davis was watching closely. And he didn't hold back. He questioned Shakur's status, his power, his resume, his place among the elite. He said people talk about Shakur like he's already done something special at lightweight, when in his eyes, he hasn't proven enough yet. To Tank, boxing isn't about looking good. It's about hurting people who can hurt you back. He believes that no matter how pretty your boxing is, you are going to get hit, and when you do, you better be able to handle it. Shakur didn't run from that. He addressed it directly. He said the tension with Tank isn't random. It's about energy, about competition, about two men who both believe they are the best. He said at some point, Tank started looking at him differently, not like a peer, not like a friend, but like a threat. And Shakur understands that. He even respects it. Because in his mind, real competitors eventually stop smiling. They start measuring. Shakur believes Tank knows, deep down, that he would be a serious problem in the ring. That's why Tank gets irritated when his name comes up. That's why the energy changes. To Shakur, that irritation isn't disrespect. It's insecurity mixed with awareness. He sees Tank as someone who thinks in terms of me or nobody, while Shakur thinks in terms of proving himself by beating the best, one by one. Behind all the talk, Shakur is still grinding. His camp has been intense. He's sparring elite fighters, working with Terrence Crawford, building strength, adjusting to weight, sharpening timing. He's not acting like someone who thinks he's perfect. He's acting like someone who knows he has to get better. He knows what's coming. He knows the names around him. He knows the pressure. And he knows that every mistake now gets magnified. On the other side, Teofimo Lopez is just as locked in. He's carrying the WBO and ring titles, and he treats them like parts of his identity. He talks about bleeding for them, suffering for them, and refusing to give them up. His faith, his mindset, his past mistakes, his growth, all of it fuels how he trains. Pad work with Freddie Roach is sharp, violent, precise. Every punch has intent. Every movement has purpose. He isn't just training for a fight. He's training to defend his story. And then there is the looming shadow of the sparring incident. Some fans say it means nothing. Others say it means everything. Some say Shakur just had a bad day. Others say it exposed something deeper. Gervonta used it as ammo, saying Shakur is scared to get hit, scared to get knocked out in front of the world. He said once you get past Shakur's jab, it's food. Lunch. Easy. He said until there is a contract with Shakur's name on it, he will talk his talk, because he sees himself as too dangerous for anyone to casually deal with. That's what makes this era so tense. These fighters are circling each other through interviews, sparring stories, social media, and whispers in gyms. Everyone is watching everyone. Everyone is waiting for the moment when words turn into signatures on a contract. Shakur stands at a crossroads. To some, he is still the technician, the future, the man who makes elite fighters look confused. To others, he is now the man who got caught in sparring and has something to prove. To Tank, he is a rival he doesn't want to praise. To Keyshawn, he is a brother he will never fight. To fans, he is either the next great master or the next great question mark. And that is what boxing does best. It turns moments into myths, mistakes into narratives, and rivalries into inevitabilities. Every jab thrown in training, every comment in an interview, every clip that leaks online becomes part of a bigger story. The only place that story ever truly ends is in the ring. Now it's your turn. What do you think that sparring moment really means? Is Shakur still the untouchable technician, or is there a crack forming that elite fighters can exploit? Do you believe a fight with Tank eventually happens, or will egos and politics keep it away from us? Drop your thoughts in the comments, share this with every boxing fan you know, and if you want more deep, dramatic fight stories like this, make sure you like, subscribe, and stay locked in, because the next chapter in boxing is being written right now.